Welcome to the video lectures on Radiation and Microwave Technique course. We are going through unit number 2, that is Radiating Elements and Arrays. Till now, from lecture 1 to lecture 4 of unit number 2, we have gone through the different radiating elements, and those were the single element antennas. Now we will move on to the second part of this unit, that is the array antennas. This lecture 5th of unit 2 focuses on antenna arrays and the two element array. Let's see what are the contents that will be covered in this session. Learning outcomes, antenna array, its types, two element array, and pattern multiplication concept. Coming to the learning outcomes, after completion of this lecture, students will be able to understand the purpose of antenna array and its types, understand two element array and they will do its analysis and find out the electric field and the array factor of two element array. Understand concept of pattern multiplication in order to find out the rough draft of the estimated radiation pattern of the array antenna. Starting with the contents of today's lecture with array antenna. Till now in the previous session we have seen that the single element antennas, they usually have the radiation pattern which is wide and it is having low values of gain as well as directivity. So in many of the applications it is necessary to design the antennas which have directive characteristics, that is they have a higher ranges of gain in order to meet the demands of long distance communication. It is possible by two ways, by increasing the electrical size of the antenna or by using the antenna array. So antenna array, it consists of multiple individual elements together. In most of the cases the elements of an array, they are identical, that is the same elements are used and they are clubbed together. This is not necessary, but it is often convenient and simpler and more practical. The individual element of an array may be in the form of wires or the apertures. You can see in the figure the array of half-wave dipole antennas is shown. The second figure shows you the parabolic array antenna. The third figure shows you the helical array antenna. And the figure 4th is showing the turnstile array antenna. So you can see over here multiple single element antennas, they are clubbed together in order to form the array of antenna. So there are 4 types of array antennas based on their position and the shape of radiation element. They are classified as linear array, circular array, planar array and conformal array. We will see each of them one by one. The figure shows you the linear array. Linear array, over in the linear array, the radiation elements, they are arranged in a single line. You can see in the figure, the elements, they are arranged on the single line, that is on the single axis. Second type is the circular array. Here the radiation elements, they are arranged in a circular pattern as you can see here. Third one is the planar array. Here the radiating elements, they are arranged in two-dimensional grid. And the last one is the conformal array. Here the radiating elements, they are arranged on the 3D surface as you can see in this last figure. So in the array antennas, there are multiple elements. So the total field of the array is determined by the vector addition of the fields radiated by the individual element. And this assumes that the current in each of the element is same as that of the isolated single element. To provide very directive pattern, it is necessary that the field from the elements of the array, they interfere constructively, that is they get added together in the desired direction, and they interfere destructively, that is they cancel out each other in the remaining space. In an array of identical elements, there are at least 5 controls that can be used to shape the overall pattern of the antennas. They include the geometrical configuration of the overall array, that is whether it is linear, circular, rectangular or spherical. Second is the relative displacement between the elements. Third is the excitation amplitude of individual element. Fourth is the excitation phase of individual element and the relative pattern of individual element. The advantages of using array antenna is it increases overall gain, it provides diversity reception, it cancels out interference, it maximizes the signal to interference ratio, and we can focus the antenna's radiation pattern or the directivity into a particular direction. So now moving on to the analysis of two element array. For that we will consider an array of two infinitesimal horizontal dipole antenna positioned along the z axis. You can see over here, this is the first element and this is the second element and this is the center point. So there are two elements which are spaced apart from each other by the distance d. Now you can see this is the far field geometry shown over here. These are the far field observation, in that we know this R1 and R2 they become equal to R. So we have to find the far field radiations. As the distance is very large, the field will be constant as far as the amplitude is concerned, but only the phase will be different. Always this R, the distance from origin to the observation point, that is R, is very much greater than distance between the two antenna, that is D. So the total radiated field by the two element is equal to the sum of the two fields of the individual element, that is E total will be equal to E1 plus E2. E1 will be the field radiated by this element 1 and E2 is the field radiated by the element 2. So we know for the infinitesimal dipole antenna, the electric field in the theta direction, you can see the variations are in theta direction. So E theta of the infinitesimal dipole antenna is given as j eta k I naught l e raised to minus j k r upon 4 pi r into cos theta. So after adding the individual electric field of both the elements, we get A theta bar j eta k I naught l upon 4 pi into e raised to minus j k r1 minus beta by 2 divided by r1 cos theta 1 plus e raised to j k r2 plus beta by 2 divided by r2 cos theta 2. This is theta 2 and this is theta 1, where the beta is the difference in the phase excitation between the elements. Magnitude of the excitation of the radiators, they are identical. Now assuming the far field observation, this theta 1 is approximately equal to theta 2 equal to theta, whereas you can see over here the radiation by this first element, they will reach faster to the observation point in the far field, whereas the radiations by this element 2, they will reach by some lagging time with respect to the first element. So we will calculate the R2. This R2, when we draw this line, it forms a right angle triangle and this variation is in the theta direction. If we calculate this sin 90 minus theta is equal to cos theta, and this part will be d by 2 cos theta. So we can write R2 as this R plus d by 2 cos theta. Similarly, this R1 will be R minus d by 2 cos theta. If we draw a line over here, this portion will be subtracted, which is d by 2 cos theta. So from R, if we subtract d by 2 cos theta, that will be the R1 for phase variation. So in this equation of total electric field, if we put those values, we get e raised to j theta plus e raised to minus j theta is twice of cos theta. So by putting that value, we get total electric field as a theta bar j eta k I naught L e raised to minus j k r upon 4 pi r cos twice of cos 1 by 2 k d cos theta plus beta. So from this equation we can say the total field of the array is equal to the field of single element position at the origin multiplied by the factor which is widely referred to as the array factor. So this denoted with the yellow line is the factor which is twice of cos 1 by 2 k d cos theta plus beta, which is called as array factor. So array factor is equal to twice of cos 1 by 2 into k d cos theta plus beta. The normalized array factor is given as cos 1 by 2 k d cos theta plus beta. So array factor is a function of geometry of array and the excitation phase you can see in the figure. As we are having the term d as well as the beta, by varying the separation d and the phase between the elements, the characteristics of the array factor and the total field of the array, it can be controlled. So it has been illustrated that the far field of uniform two element array of identical elements is equal to the product of the field in a single element at the selected reference point. Usually that reference is selected to be an origin, and the array factor of that array. So usually the total electric field is equal to electric field of the single element at reference point into the array factor, and this is termed to as the pattern multiplication for array of identical elements. Each array has its own array factor, and the array factor is the function of number of elements, their geometrical arrangement, their magnitude and their relative phase and the spaces. Now we will see this concept of pattern multiplication in detail. So the total field pattern of an array is multiplication of individual source pattern and the pattern of array. So for learning this concept of pattern multiplication, consider an array of n isotropic sources, and the problem is we have to find the radiation pattern of it. The analysis involves a lot of calculations for finding the null direction, the direction of maxima, direction of side lobe, etc. So after finding the direction, one can plot the radiation pattern easily. But sometimes instead of exact radiation pattern with accurate directions, rough patterns are also sufficient. This can be done easily by this method of pattern multiplication. This method is applicable for non-isotropic sources also. For that, we will now consider 4 isotropic sources as shown in the figure, which are spaced at the distance d equal to lambda by 2 and the phase beta equal to 0. Now we have considered the element 1 and element 2, you can see in this figure, as one unit, and the element 3 and element 4 as the second unit. As the elements they are identical, the unit have the same radiation pattern. That is, the unit of element 1 and 2 will have the same radiation pattern, and element 3 and 4 will have the same pattern as the element 1 and 2. Radiation pattern of unit is called as unit pattern, and the unit pattern of element 1, 2 and the element 3, 4 is shown in the figure. It is having maxima in 90 degrees and 270 degrees. Now the single antenna, that is A and B, they can be used to replace the antenna 1, 2 and the antenna 3, 4 respectively by locating it midway between them. So the radiation pattern of this group A and B is called as group pattern, and the group pattern of A and B, which are spaced at a distance lambda, you can see this is lambda by 4, this is lambda by 2, and the remaining lambda by 4, the total forms the spacing of lambda, and this is the radiation pattern for group A and B. Now moving further to calculate the total resultant pattern, the resultant pattern is calculated as the unit pattern into group pattern. So first we will take the unit pattern that we have seen. It has maxima at 90 and 270 degrees. Then we will multiply it with the group pattern, which will yield us with the resultant pattern. It will have maxima, as there are maximas in this direction. This both will get multiplied and we will have maxima at 90 and 270, whereas we will have the smaller lobes as there is no radiation here and there are radiation in the group pattern. So we will get some null points over here in this direction, that is 0 and 180 degrees. So this will be the resultant pattern. So this is how the pattern multiplication helps in getting the rough estimate of the group of element, that is the array antenna. So in this video lecture we have now discussed about the array of antenna, its types, and we have seen the concept of array factor of the array antenna, and also seen the concept of pattern multiplication. Hope you have understood it. Thank you.